What is your earliest memory? My earliest memory was when I was 4 or 5 years and it was when I woke up dreaming fighting a giant monster while my power was a fart construct of a scorpion stinger. Then running out of the room running while shouting don't have eyes while looking in the mirror. The run back to the room took a hard turn to the wall, which opened my forehead. Had a scar in my forehead ever since. Snakes used to roam in our garden all the time, and I would watch them as a kid from our balcony the whole day. One morning, we found a snake above our blanket when we woke up. My mum got scared and called for help. All the villagers came and the poor snake was killed. Never saw snakes in my garden afterwards, and the life never felt the same after that instant. We define memory, the first image on its own. A bright red classic route master bus, winding the streets somewhere around central London, probably from when I was about 2 or nearly 3 years old. The earliest full-fledged memory would be when I was 4 and got in a fight with an older kid, and they stabbed me in the eye with a stick. I was 3 years old. My parents bought a house that was a short distance from where my family was living. I recall my mother holding my hands as we walked the short distance to the new house. My mother also held my hand as she helped me walk up the flight of stairs, as the height of each step was difficult for my short legs to climb. I was about 2 years old. I was wearing bib overalls and it was in the winter. We were living in an old house with a furnace and a floor grate. I fell and burned my hands. I remember falling and screaming and my mother grabbing me. Then I don't remember anything else. I had a burn on my hand, and that led to a lifetime of fear of fire. You may not believe me, and that's fair, but I have a brief memory from the day I was born. It's a memory of me being picked up underneath my arms and seeing my feet being placed down on a paper with a blue outline. Then my feet left a print on the paper, and that's my whole memory. Various flashes of memories at my parents' first apartment, the Governor Sproul Apartments, when I was 1 to 112, like seeing the screen door, my dad sitting on the couch, etc. I also remember the moon landing in 1969 and trying to see it through binoculars. My sister, when I was 2. I remember my grandma holding me as my brother was getting a bowl, but he grabbed one with holes in it. So I threw up in that bowl with it basically doing nothing to help reduce a mess. Such a specific memory too. And I don't usually remember stuff in that much detail. First day of preschool. We were all telling each other that we were 3 years old. I don't remember much else from that year at all aside from hating nap time so much. I wasn't napping at home and everyone was required to nap at preschool and I hated the whole process. When I was 4, there was a major earthquake in my country in the nearby town. Some cracks showed up in our house, so we set up a big orange tent in the yard and lived there until it was safe to go back in. It was fun, my first adventure. How old I was, I just know I was really little, like I wasn't in kindergarten, so my dad had an episode and broke our TV and went outside and beat up a homeless guy, then was in jail for 6 months. To 3-ish. My parents replaced my crib with a toddler bed, and I wasn't happy about it. I climbed into the crib without a mattress, and my diaper got caught on the springs, so I cried until someone came to get me. I remember being an infant, being put on a couch while a family picture was being set up, everyone getting ready to pose, and then I also remember looking up at my mum and aunt while I was in the crib. A minor one. That I remember being carried from one room to another, and that room was yellow. I later found out where we lived when we had yellow walls. I was about 14 months old. It was multiple months before my first birthday. I was climbing up a metal staircase, then laid on the floor and watched Disney's Dinosaurs movie on the TV. 2 years old. Pulling the drawers out under the kitchen cupboards to use them as stairs to get onto the counter and get at the cookies somehow. I was in a crib, but I could pull up. But I thought I had stayed up all night, come to find out it was a fire at the neonate's house. Riding on the back of my mom's bicycle strapped into one of those baby seats. I can still smell wood smoke when I think about it. I was 2 years old. Was sitting in a fort I had made with my brother. We were watching Dora eating McDonald's Happy Meals, playing with blocks on the floor when I was 1. My dad telling me it's bedtime, and me running into my room to go to bed. The World's Fair in NYC. I remember a Ferris wheel-shaped attire. Maybe Firestone. I must have been 4 at the time. At about 4 o'clock, 2 of the cats woke me, insistent that I get out of the sack and fetch their breakfast. 3 years old in 2006, watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse on Playhouse Disney IP. 2 years old. My Uncle Kevin telling me to go say fuck to my mother. 2 or 3. I pooped in the next door neighbor's yard. I got in trouble. I'm 67 now. I can remember my first day at school about 5 years old. I remember how bad the shakes of the kindergarten smelled. 2 years old, standing on a train holding a footrail.